is used in unprofessional situations, for example, when you're talking to your family, friends, or colleagues that you know very well. Now let's look at the features of informal language. With informal language, we generally use short sentences that lack formal grammar or vocabulary, so you may see spelling mistakes or slang words. Contractions are shortened words of words, and we usually place an apostrophe where the letter is missing. Contractions are used in informal language. For example, we would use the contraction I'd instead of I would. Idioms are expressions used in English. Idioms are generally used in informal language. For example, the idiom on point means good. The active voice is used with informal language. Remember, the active voice puts emphasis on the subject doing the action. For example, I have signed the documents instead of the documents have been signed by me. Phrasal verbs are phrases that have a verb and a preposition or adverb. Phrasal verbs have a different meaning to the individual words themselves. We can use phrasal verbs in informal language. For example, the phrasal verb look into. This means to investigate or to research something. Abbreviations are shortened versions of words. Abbreviations are used in informal language. For example, the abbreviation for as soon as possible is ASAP. Exclamation marks are also used in informal language. Imperatives are sentences that start with a verb and generally give a command or instruction. Imperatives can be used in informal language. For example, complete the form. When writing a letter or email, you should follow this format. Firstly, we start with a greeting and an opening. This is usually an informal greeting. For example, dear plus name, hello or hi. There are many other informal ways of greeting people. Remember, the person that you're writing to is probably someone that you know very well, so formal language isn't required. Some examples of openings include I haven't seen you in ages. Thanks for the letter or email. The opening will usually depend on your reason for writing. Then we proceed to starting the letter and explaining the reason for writing. For example, how have you been? Let me tell you about. Or I am writing this letter or email about. And then you would give your reason. Following on from this, we can provide more information about the points that we are making. For example, great news, or unfortunately you didn't get the job. I've attached my form. Then we finish with a closing sentence. For example, hope to hear from you soon. Write back to me when you can, or it can be the next step that you want the person to take or plan or action. Finally, we end off with informal ending. For example, all the best, or speak to you soon. Now let's go through the layout of the letter. In the top right hand corner we have the writer's address. So if you're writing the letter, then this is your address. Below that is a date. Below that on the left side is the recipient's name or address. So remember, recipient is the person that is receiving the letter. Then we begin the letter. So we start always with greeting and then the opening. Then you begin to give your reasons for writing or provide information. It's important to use paragraphs. The paragraphs can be used to talk about each point. So the first paragraph can be used to talk about the first point, the second paragraph can be used to talk about the second point, and etc. To finish off, we write a closing sentence. Then this can be a final thought or summary of the point that you made. That is also a way you would outline the next steps or any requests. For example, if you're planning to meet your friend or you have requested for them to do something, if there is no further steps to take, then you can just end by thanking them for reading the letter. Finally, we end off with an informal ending and then your name. So, there is an example of an informal letter as mentioned. In the right hand corner is the sender's address followed by the date, and then on the left is the recipient address to Bella. How are you? I haven't spoken to you in ages. I have been so busy lately with school and exams. I also went on holiday to Spain with my family. It was amazing. I wish you were there. I have been thinking it's nearly the summer holiday, so we could meet up and go to the beach. And you could stay at my house for a couple of days too. What do you think? I'll have to look at all prices for train tickets, but I'm sure it won't be too expensive. I'll also be starting a job during the summer holiday. I can't wait. Anyway, I hope to speak to you soon. Make sure you reply to me ASAP. Speak to you soon. Now, let's your time to do this test. Let's check your comprehension.